Welcome back to Manifestation Moments with MsG, where vision meets momentum, purpose meets power, and every conversation is designed to help you manifest the life you were created for. I'm your host, MsG, author, visionary startup and book coach, and momentum motivator. And today, family, get ready. We are spotlighting a woman whose journey bridges healthcare, healing, filmmaking, and financial empowerment. She is proof that when God gives you a calling, He also gives you the capacity to change lives. So settle in, grab your notebook, and prepare for a transformational conversation. We'll be right back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. We're here again, another magnificent Thursday, and we're excited to be here once again. Welcome to Miss G's Ladies Lounge. I am your host, Gwen Finley, Miss G. That's me. And tonight I am so excited. As I said earlier, I'm so excited about what we're getting ready to hear on tonight's show. So I want you to make sure that you invite your friends, invite your family members, invite everyone to join us. We welcome you into Miss G's Ladies Lounge. Here is a place where you can relax and let your hair hang down in Miss G's Ladies Lounge. Welcome to the relaxation station. So tonight, our guest is none other than the phenomenal Robyn Roots, MSN, RN, CDN, 38-year nursing veteran, award-winning nurse leader, renal specialist, filmmaker, educator, and humanitarian. She's the founder of Kidney Keeper, where she advocates for kidney health through education and community screenings. The visionary behind the student loan nurse and helping public servants navigate loan forgiveness and reclaim financial stability. I know you want to stay after hearing that, right? And she is also the creative force behind Closer Productions, where she wrote, directed, and produced the award-winning documentary 2020 Year of the Nurse, shining a powerful light on the mental health impact of the pandemic on nurses. She has earned state and city proclamations, received the 2023 President's Lifetime Achievement Award, and continues to build humane systems that allow clinicians and communities to thrive. Robyn Roots is not just accomplished, she is called, she is impactful, and she's here with us today. Before I bring her on, I want you to just check this out.
Who will? Life will change with each touch and breath that we take. COVID brought mass isolation and a touchless society as our new normal. Fears, tears, sickness, and death. Even science stood still.
When the world was in trouble, who was there? Showed up every day and really cared. Who really had the heart to put the people first? 2020, year of the nurse. When the world was in trouble, who was there? Showed up every day and really cared. Who really had the heart to put the people first? 2020, year of the nurse. The word worst pandemic ever in history. So much pain, tears, a lot of misery. 2020, year of the nurse. The documentary documenting the worst. For every nurse, the struggle that you've been through, you beat the odds, forever will continue to have faith and never lose hope. Overnight shifts tied, but they cope. They God chosen, they fix what's broke. Caring for us, that's all they know. They pushing fear aside, focus on the bigger picture, leaving no one behind, that's why I'm with you. The sacrifice is so evident. Nurses will always be relevant. True angels that I haven't sent. How about a nurse run for president? The world was in trouble, who was there? Showed up every day and really cared, who really had the heart to put the people first. 2020, year of the nurse. When the world was in trouble, who was there? Showed up every day and really cared, who really had the heart to put the people first. 2020, year of the nurse. Salute every nurse. Some survived, some died. COVID-19 took us all by surprise while we fighting through it. Yale, Black Lives Matter. Check on your friends. Mental health, it matters. Those gone but never forgotten. Stay strong forever, we got them. When you a nurse, it's like you sign an oath. To save lives, we will always owe you appreciation and gratitude. Without you, what would we do? The world was in shambles. You showed up, took a gamble. Commitment was your first choice. For every nurse, I'ma be the voice to let them know that above all, you a blessing and we love y'all. The world was in trouble, who was there? Showed up every day and really cared, who really had the heart to put the people first. 2020, year of the nurse. When the world was in trouble, who was there? Showed up every day and really cared, who really had the heart to put the people first. 2020, year of the nurse.
I know it's been tough, but only God knows. Keep fighting, keep believing, we are one. My heroes, 2020, year of the nurse.
Okay, so the celebrity is in the room.
You know, you starting the show off that way. I got a little emotional, but
Yeah, yeah. And I was thinking the same thing while I was watching it. It was, ooh, what a year, what a year, what a year. So we've got some people joining in. Let's just greet them real quick while we catch ourselves, bring ourselves back down. Hey, Miss Deborah, welcome to Miss G's Ladies Lounge. We've got Debbie Ward here. She's a fantastic nurse out in Dallas, Texas. We've got my cuz out there in Florida, Marie. Thank you for being here. Hey, Alf, welcome, 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 welcome. And so we're excited to have you here. Cookie, thank you so much. Listen, welcome, Miss Robyn, to Miss G's Ladies Lounge. I've never started the show that way, but I just had to do it. I had to do it. It
appreciate it.
was it was amazing, and it took me back to that time. So tell me, Miss Robyn, just tell me how you, in the midst of all of what was going on, how you decided to yourself, this is what I'm going to do.
Wow, just looking at that video, it always makes me emotional. That was just one of the scariest times in my career where, people were coming in and dying and we did not know what was going on.
Right.
And at that time, I worked for the government. So, we were getting a lot of mixed messaging and just moving. Whatever way they say do something, we did it. It might last for a week and change over. But during that time, I saw a lot of patients pass away. I saw a lot of coworkers get ill and pass away. And I got to a place I just didn't know what to do. So I spent a lot of time in the chapel at the hospital praying and asking God to give me direction. And I had a lot of nurses coming to me for support, mental support, just expertise on how to manage different infection issues within the hospital. And I just, after taking in so much information, I just decided I would record what was going on. So if nurses didn't make it during that time, their story would be told. And so I got in touch with over 30 nurses that were in the on the front line, really struggling, and I just started capturing their stories. And I sent teams all over the country to get the footage. The film 2020 Year of the Nurse is finally in distribution. I just signed a deal this week, 5 years later, because I've been holding on to it
Hmm.
because I did not want anybody to change anything about it because my professionals are still practicing and I didn't want any issues if they tried to edit the film.
Absolutely.
And so it's just been a blessing for me because I have not met all of the nurses that is in the film because they was all over in Atlanta, Cali, Jersey, just different places. And I sent in film crews to capture their stories. And as you know, COVID collided with Black Lives Matter, so that highlighted
Hmm.
the discrimination in the healthcare field, also the mental health of the healthcare team. And so, with all of those things going on, it was amazing to hear people's stories. They all had the same thread. That's why I did it. Nurses were
Hmm.
reaching out to me that were just appalled that with the Black Lives Matter movement, they hadn't got any kind of sympathy or acknowledgement or any kind of meetings or comforting within the healthcare system during that time because it was affecting everybody.
Right, right.
So it was a time for me to really just pray a lot and really just use my skills to help support the nurses. And during that time, I did a lot of counseling and really supporting the nurses. And we received a award from Taraji P. Hence's organization for the mental health support given to the nurses during that time. This film has gotten over 20 awards. The song
Wow.
has gotten a lot of awards as well and proclamations from different states where we've shown the film. And I've been to universities showing the film as well. So it's still something I use as an educational tool to uplift the nurses, to educate the community because they did not know what was going on behind those walls. They couldn't see.
Absolutely.
So for me, every time I listen to the song, every time I listen to the trailer, we didn't show that, but the trailer stands alone. The trailer has won awards itself, just
Wow.
freestanding. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk about that because it's been 5 years since COVID. This is year 5. And,
Yeah.
just sitting back looking at all the family members that were lost during that time due to
Hmm.
COVID or complications, not getting
Right.
proper health care because really the hospitals were full of COVID patients. So
Oh,
they
yes.
stayed home.
Hmm.
So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. I tell you, I salute all nurses in every arena because there were a lot of different arenas that was happening through that. But I definitely salute those that were in the hospitals and front line, as they say. There was the front line, in many different capacities. I was in home health at the time. And so we had the people at home who were seniors, that was very afraid.
Yes.
So I was on the other spectrum of that as well. And then some who couldn't see their families or they, were dealing with that on that side. And so we also were going in and out of the homes, not knowing what we were encountering, and then, uh, like you said, those meetings, oh my gosh, because I was in management at the time. So the meetings, morning, noon, night, like you said, the rules kept changing. The rules kept
Yes.
changing. And
Yeah.
so every time you turn around, it was another meeting about what to do next. And so, but this video to me, I'm not a person that loves rap, but just the words alone and the words alone and the action just shows that nurses were being appreciated even throughout this video. And
Yeah.
so I really thank you for sharing that with us on tonight. So we're going to get on into tonight because we can go on with that, or we can just go on and on with that, right? So, you as we read your bio, oh my gosh, there were so many great uh, titles there that we could attribute to you. So, tell us who Robyn really is and how you keep Robyn together while wearing all those hats that nurture everybody else. How does Robyn keep Robyn happy?
Well, one of the main things about me, I'm a servant leader. I love
Mm,
helping the community. I love educating, and I love, bridging the gap between, the underserved and just making sure that they have an advocate for their needs. And so, being a nurse and then becoming a filmmaker and now working with people with student loans, it's like full circle for me
mm,
because I always have done different conferences on health and wealth. I always say
mhm.
they balance each other out. You can be healthy, but if your money is not right, you're not
Woo!
feeling real powerful, and vice versa. You can have all the money in
Right,
the world and be out of shape.
right, right.
Do it. So it's a fine line there, and I always try to tell people I'm 61, and I really, really try hard to take care of myself because definitely in this climate, the healthcare
Mhm,
system, we don't have as many professionals in the hospital anymore. We don't have the equipment we used to have. We don't have the coverage we used to have. So I
mhm.
tell people try to be as healthy as you can going into this fight because this will be a cat fight. We
Yeah.
all gonna age, but if we can, age with grace, it's just so important to do that. And I found since COVID, I make sure I take naps. I make sure I have Robin time. You know,
Woo!
when my eyes start burning, I go somewhere and sit down because I know
Woo!
that my body's saying that's enough. Or if my head starts tingling,
Absolutely.
it's like you overthinking, you need to chill out and
Mhm.
just really listening to my body in a good way.
Yeah,
We used to listening to it in a bad way, like we
right, right.
hurt,
Wait for
we hurt.
something to happen.
Right, right. But you really need to put you first. And
Mhm.
you hear all the time, you can't serve from an empty cup. Let your cup run
Yes.
over. And I have encompassed that now because I can't help you if my cup is not running over.
Mhm.
And when I'm on E, I say thank you for thinking about me, but I just can't do it. I'm
Absolutely.
so
Not
sorry.
today.
You
Not
know, all these invitations, like it's holiday time, it's like
yes.
I just want to stay in the house and, watch a good
Mhm.
movie and relax my brain, after work. And you just need to do that.
Right. You
Yeah.
gotta have that me time. So you are the certified dialysis nurse. You are the student loan nurse. Let's talk a little bit about the kidney keeper. Tell us what that is and what inspired you to even step into that arena of the health field.
Well, when I was young coming up, I had an aunt that we took care of at my home, and she had emphysema. And that's if depending on your age, you probably never heard of that. It's like a lung disease, but she had emphysema and she struggled, and then it affected her kidneys. And
Mhm,
back then, in the late 70s,
mhm,
the insurance coverage for that wasn't that much. So for her to have dialysis 3 days a week, my mom would have to add another 200 and something dollars with that, which we did
mm.
not have.
Right.
And she passed away with kidney complications. And I was young. I did everything I could for her and took care of her. But before she passed away, she said, you ought to be a nurse. And I said, after watching her, I was like, I don't want to be a nurse. And she was like, everybody runs away from me when I get sick or pass out,
Mhm.
but you always come to me. So you should consider being a
Right.
nurse. And so I went to nursing school, and she died shortly after I
Mm,
got into nursing school. And in the film, I talk about that. And I pursued kidney health because I wanted to understand it more. I wanted to make a
mhm,
difference, and I wanted to be an advocate because the funding was very challenging. It still is, but it's better. And I
mhm.
think people don't realize we talk about the heart and the liver and but the kidneys a lot of times we forget the power they have in the body and how they regulate a lot of things. So
Right.
anybody with diabetes and hypertension, your kidneys are being affected. And so it's
Right.
important to understand those disease processes and then know that hey, I need to keep an eye on my kidneys too. Because
Mhm.
it's nothing like somebody going to the doctor 10 times a year for their diabetes out of control, and then a year later you going on dialysis. They're like, what happened? Nobody said anything about my kidneys. Then
Right.
you go back and look at the labs, they were declining with all of this blood sugar being out of control. So I try to make sure people understand the numbers. They ask those questions. If they don't know what to ask, I'm the kidney keeper. Call me. I'm here to help you
Mhm.
keep your kidneys. I get on the three-way call with people. I get calls all the time, the same thing. I just got a call. My dad got to start dialysis Monday. And I'm like, okay, give me a little bit of history. And it's like the focus is on the heart, but it's not looking at the kidneys. And so
Right.
people need to realize the impact, their kidneys have on helping their heart to regulate and just, keep the fluid off so that you don't have shortness of breath and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it's just so important. Just to understand your body and the main, organs. So that's why my company was born out of that. And I love going to the schools, talking to the kids because they'll tell me, my big mama got sugar. Everybody know that word sugar. And I get to tell them some
Yes.
of the things to look out for. And so
Mhm.
I'm just a kidney keeper in Richmond. Everybody knows me. I probably do 3 to 4 talks a year with
Mm.
corporations just to, because what you don't understand or realize too is that these people with hypertension and diabetes, they work for you. So when they
Mhm.
faint on the job or they on dialysis and they have
Right, right.
spectacles and stuff, these leaders, they want education now. So
Mhm.
how do I manage that employee?
Absolutely.
And then the patient is like, well, how do I keep my job? You have
Right.
Yeah, you have rights. Their letters can be written. You can go on light duty. You can, have more what is it, family leave time and all of those
Mhm.
good things. So I try to make sure they understand all of their rights and just understand that, they got to take better care of themselves. But sometimes it's in the family history. So you really got to work on it.
And they have even, I noticed, when applying for jobs or whatever, there are, I'm like in Good Morning America, so you might see people walking by, they're outside. Don't worry about it.
That's
Uh, but, I noticed that they ask, do you have any disabilities? And then they have diabetes down as a disability. I was so surprised when I first saw that. I was like, what in the world? What is that? And so it has become one of those systems that affects so many different areas of your body that now they even encompass it, like you said, that your employer needs to now be able to know that this is something you're dealing with and that there may be repercussions along the way. So I love that you are working with the corporate world as well to be able to understand people's diseases, because a lot of times, you have people, because they're healthy, they think everybody else should be healthy, and everybody should be at work every day and never need anything, or that's another story. So so the kidney keeper, so this is a project that's open to anyone, you say, that needs your assistance?
Yes, I'm available on social media. So I get calls from people, and I've been on kidney thons that they've done on Facebook. I'll come in and answer questions, and I've worked with the Kidney Foundation as well. So a lot of times I get transplant questions, just all kind of questions. If I don't have all the answers, I always refer them because I've been in it long enough to call anybody that they need: social workers, dietitians, physicians, nurse practitioners, because I always tell families when their loved one get diagnosed, you have a whole team. You
Mhm.
need to make them accountable. They have care conferences once a month where you can sit in. They're going to tell
Right.
you how your loved one is doing and what their plans are. And then you can ask all the questions you want, because dialysis is one of those disease processes where you got somebody on the dialysis machine 3 or 4 hours a day. So you're bringing them at 6 in the morning or 10 in the middle of the day. People work. So there
Mhm.
has to be some compassion there. People are taking their lunch break at 10 o'clock to pick up mama, and you can't throw mama in the house. You got to go in there and make sure she get in there good, give her something to eat, and then she lay down.
Right.
It's a process. So these leaders, they don't understand that. So I try to help them to understand what it's like for these. employees that are
Hmm.
taking care of their family that's on dialysis. And it's not just no, 7 treatments and you're done. This
Right.
ain't like chemo. This is life sustaining
Yeah.
unless they get
Yeah.
a transplant or pass
Right.
away. So
And even some of the dialysis clients are themselves working.
yes,
I have one that, we try to do infusions with her, and she's constantly, we're trying to set up her appointments, and she's at work, or dialysis. So they have a life outside of, uh, the dialysis center.
absolutely.
And so I really, you talk about creating humane systems where clinicians and communities thrive. Tell us what that actually looks like to you. One of us got stuck. I don't know if it was me. Oh, you froze on that side. So I say you talk about creating humane systems where clinicians and communities thrive. So what does that look like to you, and what changes do you believe are needed right now for us to make that happen?
Well, first, they need to remember that we are professionals,
Hmm.
and these different changes that are coming from leadership,
Mm,
they are really jeopardizing the health
yeah.
system as a whole. Because if you're not going to allow people to be categorized the right way, then the funding is going to change. The
Hmm.
ability to get promotions on the job is going to change, and it's going to change people's mind about maybe even pursuing those professions because you're saying, okay, now you don't see me that way. Because I know the jobs that I've gotten throughout my career, you come
Hmm.
in and they say, I've been a LPN, a RN,
Hmm.
BSN, MSN, certified. All of that pushes my salary up,
Absolutely.
opens up opportunities for me. And then when I get in certain roles, I might say, let me go on back and get my DMP.
Right.
If there's no money there, it kind of keeps you stuck.
Hmm.
And it's important that we, as professionals, speak up,
Hmm.
make those Congress calls, sign those petitions, and also be an advocate because we are professionals. And it's not just nursing, it's other professions as well that's affected. But holistically, it's going to hit our community hard.
Very hard.
Yeah, so many first generation college kids might be nurses.
Absolutely.
I was a first generation college in my family
Mhm,
in nursing.
mhm,
And
mhm.
this degree, when you're a nurse and the other nurses can attest to that, people think we rich. So look,
Right.
when money is needed for anything, they call a nurse. When somebody passes away and you need funeral, they call a nurse. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
how it is in my family and with my friends.
right.
So you're really jeopardizing those high breadwinners in our community because now it's like, okay, now what? What are their options? And then where's the money for them to go? We don't have $30,000 to go to college,
Mhm.
so looking for the free money, the grants, scholarships, and all of that stuff is imperative right now. And when I go to the high schools, I talk to them about not being college poor like my generation.
Mm,
What I mean by that is when you're thinking about going to school for something, let's look at the salary that you would make. There's no need in coming out with $200,000 or $300,000 worth of student loan debt, and the most you're gonna make is maybe 50,000.
50.
Yeah, but
Yep.
nobody taught us that. And so for them
Mm.
to really catch that concept, community college is not a bad place to go because once you become a nurse, very few people ask me how many times you took board, where did you go to school, how did you do in school.
Right.
You pass boards. That's all that matters.
That's
Okay,
all
you
that
pass
matters.
boards, you pass the test to get in the hospital, and
Uh-huh.
I get to work.
Mhm.
So it's those names and throwing names around. You got to look at whether you're gonna go to a school that you can afford or you're gonna be dealing with college debt in your 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about. I have
You
clients
know what you're talking about.
that are in their 70s and we're trying to get their loans forgiven because it's no way they can pay those loans when they on a fixed income. So
Wow. So, okay, so that let's go on there since we headed there. Let's go. Let's go. I know folks is waiting to hear.
oh really? The money.
So the student loan nurse is coming out now.
Absolutely.
So, first of all, um, And when you say student loan nurse, I want to clarify this. Are
Mhm.
you only dealing with nursing student loans, or do you deal with all student loans?
I work with all professionals, and everybody that has went to college, I consider a professional because you
Good.
sacrificed, you committed, and you went to school. You took yourself out of life to
Okay.
elevate yourself.
All
And I
right.
work. I have a lot of people that are in the government, that police officers, firemen, even ministers, because nonprofits. I help
Absolutely.
people to get loan forgiveness. I help people to get income driven repayment plans that are, more reasonable for the payments, because right now we have a plan called Save. It just ended on yesterday. So a lot of people's payments are going to double.
Hmm.
They're going to get high because they're going to be rolled into other plans. And I work with consolidation, because if you have Parent Plus loans, they have to be consolidated in order to be in the right lane for forgiveness. And you
Hmm.
have to, have your loans set up right so that you can be paying on them so they can be forgiven. I have
Right.
people that are paying $1,800 a month, and their payments are counting, but if they owe $400,000,
Right.
it's gonna be there for a long
Drop
time.
in the bucket.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And so that made me think of some individuals, as they say, they used to call them, what did they call them? Um, Lifetime students, but they call them something else. Some people just like to keep going back and getting another degree and getting
Yeah.
another
I
degree.
was I was one of them.
Yeah, yeah. And so it becomes, when you sit down and you get into reality, and the reality sets in, this is where you're stuck right now, in that place where you need that student loan forgiveness. So tell us how you, as the student loan nurse, actually work with individuals, um, to help them navigate through this.
One of the things that I find a common thread in is that a lot of people don't want to look at it. They don't
Hmm.
want to deal with it because some people actually they feel shameful, or they
Hmm.
feel guilty. And
Hmm.
I try to tell them, you didn't do anything wrong. You did what was best for you at the time to take care of your family. If you're a single mom or you're married and you say, hey, I don't mind going to school. A lot of times the men are not interested in college, but the
Hmm.
women, we're like, hey, I know I can get social work, and then I can do this, and this. For some reason, we're more inclined to go back to school and take classes and stuff like
Right.
that because we like new stuff. We like to learn and
Something new.
grow. Yeah, that's just women. Because my husband, he
Mhm.
can sit in the same chair till it fall apart. But I'm moving around furniture, changing the curtains,
Right.
and so I work with people that have loans, but they trust me because I am a nurse.
Mhm.
Because when you talk about money, it's a little it's private and it's sensitive.
It is.
It's sensitive, and I tell them, you look just like me. You got a
Mhm.
nice car, nice home. I know you went to school somewhere, and I know you got some college debt.
Right, right.
Unless you know something I don't know. But most of the time, we're educated and
Yeah.
we enjoy going to school. But now, 15, 20 years later, you're like, how in the world did $80,000 turn into 200,000?
There you go.
And it was just sitting there, but it wasn't sitting there. It was multiplying daily,
Mm.
daily interest. And a lot of people don't realize that. And so now, just educating people. So when I work with people, I do a free discovery call and I ask them some questions and we talk about where they're at. And a lot of people, they may have 3 kids and that's all the loans, all
Mm.
their children's loans.
Right, right.
And I told them, tell me about the kids. What are they doing? And sometimes they say they're not even in that field, they're doing something else. And so we talk about the loan and what they're actually doing now. And so I
Mhm.
think it's so important to catch these young kids early so they don't create all this debt because we weren't
Absolutely.
given all the rules.
Right.
That's why I say we did the best we could, but
Yes.
now we're smarter, we're wiser, we got a lot of tech information. And
Mhm.
so I make sure people understand where they're at and what their options are. And we get to work. We get to work because some people, they've been working in an industry where they can get loan forgiveness. They've been working at a nonprofit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, we just got some paperwork to do. So we become friends, we become family. I tell them it's about 10 to 12 touch points because
Mhm.
working together, then they have some things they need to take care of, and then I do stuff on my end. And
Mhm.
I've gotten $2.8 million of student loan forgiveness since June
Wow.
2025. And
Wow.
yeah, and it's real. It's still happening in real time because a lot of people say, I thought they stopped doing that. I said, well, my clients will tell you differently. And that's
Mhm.
what I tell them. Sometimes we get misinformation.
Right.
That's what they want us to have, so we don't even try. And then some
Mhm.
clients, they'll say, I've been trying for 5 years. I say, well, I'm retired. Let me make the calls. Let me take care of business for you, but I need for you to do your part. And so I love what I do. I tell my husband all the time, I've been a nurse over 35 years.
Mhm.
This is the only thing that I've ever done that has matched nursing for me. Because when I
Wow.
talk to a lot of my clients, when they're telling me they owe $500,000, it's
Mhm.
emotional, it's self-defeating sometimes because nobody else knows because they want to get in business, but they don't want to say I can't, or they don't
Right.
have a house yet because it keeps popping up on their credit. And so being a nurse helps me to deal with the psychosocial issues and let them know, you didn't do anything wrong. And if I can help them, I let them know, this is what we can do. And then we get to work, and I go in and look at their dashboard because a lot of times people don't look at their stuff. And I've had clients, this is crazy, but I've had clients that when Biden was in office, he forgave
Mhm.
student loans. They missed their opportunity because
Oh.
they're sending emails to the portal and not to the client. So
Right.
some
Right.
of them say, I'm not going in there because I don't want to deal with it. I said, you know where you live.
Don't want to open up a can of worms.
Yeah, that's what they say. I'm not touching it. And I say, listen, I got something to explain to you. And I let them see the letter. I say, go ahead, cry it out, but we're going to get you forgiven.
Right.
We just got to get back to work. But watching those emails, and sometimes your email is the one from college, and you ain't had that email in 20 years. So you missing all of the information and the changes that's happening. And then you wake up and you say, I owe $3,000 a month. How can I pay this? They're going off of some old information. It's
Mhm.
a lot going on. I had a client today that called me that he was in default, but he'd been paying his bill. And
Mhm.
so we had to get on the phone, and the site was showing bad information on him. And so we
Mhm.
uploaded his receipts, and then we already filed for loan forgiveness. So I said, before you pay them anything else, we're going to get this taken care of because you can see that there is a shortage in the education department. So it's a
Mhm.
lot of stuff may not be true. But if you're
Right.
not watching your account, you can't speak on it.
Mhm.
You're like, I owe $280,000. I said, well, what is your degree in? And some of it don't make sense. So I said,
Right.
I need to see what's been going on your dashboard. And sometimes they like, I never worked there. I say, well, we need
Mhm.
to, send in a
Wow.
letter saying that this is not your information. So it's just important to really face it because
Mhm.
it's time to get out of debt. It's time to get that buying
Yeah.
power back in our community because the more debt you have, the less you can be involved in these big things in life. But once you get $200,000 off your credit report, hey,
Mm.
you in business now. You can send your kids to
Yeah.
college. You're probably taking care of your mom or dad. You need that space in there to get credit or
Mhm.
whatever. So I'm just real passionate about helping people, and through the grace of God, I've been able to help people. I get a lot of texts from my clients. They're like, I don't know where you came from, but we family. I say, yeah, we family. Just send your
Yeah.
everybody because these nurses now coming out of. I got a nurse came out of ODU with $100,000 in debt with an RN BSN degree. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times they get so busy, that they're not really focused on that, and then like you said, it builds up over time.
Yeah,
So are there any limits, or do you have to have a certain amount of debt in order to apply for the loan forgiveness, or are there any certain limits as to how much
no,
debt you can have?
no. I worked with people that had 30,000, and I've worked with people that had a half a million.
Hmm.
And it just depends on what happens is too. people don't realize that the companies they work for might be nonprofit or they might qualify. So what
Mm,
I do is find out, different information from them, and then I'll let them know,
mhm.
let's get to work on this,
Right.
because some companies have a nonprofit arm that you're not aware of, and they
Absolutely.
might be paying the employees out of that, so you will qualify. So it's certain information I get, and what I tell my young nurses or any professional coming out of college with all that debt, try to get with a company that's nonprofit,
Mm.
so after 10 years, your loan can be forgiven. Try to work for companies that do tuition reimbursement. Try to work for companies that say they will forgive your loans. If you come work for them, get it in writing though. Get it in writing. Because
Mm.
I was recruited for the government with that same premise. You do
Mhm.
5 years, we will forgive your student loans. A lot of us went. 5 years came, they say it's not in the budget. And it's like,
Mhm.
what? But we were there. We had did the time. And a lot of nurses we get recruited for that, but get it in writing and hold them to it.
Absolutely.
Hold them to it.
Ooh. Wow. I mean, you are enlightening us today. I know there's probably some questions out there. If you got a question, you better do it real quick because we're about to wrap this up. And I hate to wrap it up because this is a whole conference. You know, this
Yeah.
is one of those conferences that you need to have. But listen, I tell you, you are doing a wonderful service, because when you even looking back at what you um, put, in the documentary, and what you're doing with the movie that you're doing, or the documentary that you're doing, thinking about what nurses have gone through or professionals have gone through, because during that time it was a lot of different professionals who were affected
Mhm.
even through that process, and then to be inundated with finances on top
Finances.
of that. So this is hope for people, that there is something, even though you've been doing these hard tasks and you've been
Mhm.
meeting everyone else's need, there is still hope for you. So we really, really appreciate you coming and sharing this information with us and letting us know that you're out there.
Yes.
Because I had
Absolutely.
never heard about someone assisting with the student loan forgiveness. I knew that they had it available, but I never heard about anybody assisting others to get it taken care of, especially when you're in the neighborhood.
Yes. Yes. And you know what's funny? Like, I teach women, usually African American women over 50, about the stock market. And when I was teaching, that was a common thread too.
Mhm.
They needed an extra stream of income because they had all this college debt and they got kids that, gonna be going to school soon. And so it just was a common thread. And I was like, like, do you have a lot of debt? And the conversation went on and they shared. And so I was like, God, what else can I do? Because this is just, it's sad. I say these are good people.
Mm,
And when you say you got $300,000 in debt
mm,
and you're
mm,
in your
mm.
50s, it's paralyzing. You're like, how do I do that? And because I could live to be 100 with technology. Oh my God.
Right.
So how am I going to function? And so I
Yeah.
just kind of gravitated and say, you know what, I'm gonna make a difference, and I'm gonna get rid of mine, because I had student loan debt and I
Mm,
knew it could be forgiven, but I had to learn how to do it. Because when you call that number for help, they're not trying to, they want you to
mm.
just put it in forbearance or deferment and go on about your life, and it just clocking.
And
Just
it keeps
adding up.
coming back. It keeps coming back.
People think it's a gift, like this is great, I don't have to worry
Mm,
about it. But
nope.
it's a plan, it's a strategy.
It's coming back
Oh yeah,
when you
it's a
least
strategy.
expect it to.
Yeah.
So, listen, as I said, so many great things you've been doing. So, you earned national recognition, including the President's Lifetime Achievement Award. Tell us about that. I mean, how did that come about? Girl, what that song say? This girl is on fire. Go ahead.
One thing about life, you never know who's watching you and who you're inspiring, or you just don't know. Even, we're not perfect. So when you fall down and people watch you fall and they see how you get up, that changes people's lives too. And so I've taken care of so many people in the kidney arena and just done so much financially in my community. And the next thing I know, I, got this email, and I actually got an email for Entrepreneur of the Year here in
Mhm.
Richmond. And you just never know who's watching you and how you're
Right.
impacting people's life, whether you're motivating them to start their business or to finish
Mhm.
school or whatever. And so when that came about for the kidney health, I was just really just so excited because I've seen so many people pass away from
Mhm.
kidney failure, and to be acknowledged for the work that I do. And, I talk to anybody. I mean, people hit me on social media and they could be in another country. And kidney here,
Right.
kidney there is the same thing.
Right.
And so I try to help them to understand what they need to be asking the doctor, the nurses, and that they
Mhm.
have an auxiliary team there. They have a team.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
don't feel like I don't have anybody. I'm like, you probably got about 8 people on your case. You don't even
Exactly.
know. You probably got about
Mhm.
50 because dialysis patients have so many other
Yeah.
comorbidities going on. So sometimes you just be, like, I don't know what to ask, who to ask. And so I help them craft their questions, or if I get on
Mhm.
a three-way with them. So all of that came back to me because they said I had over 25 letters that went for this award, and they were from
Beautiful.
all over the country. I had no idea. I don't know who started it, but I was just grateful.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Well, congratulations on that. And we look forward to hearing about many more, not just for you, but even for many of our women, because um, we have so many women who are so talented and have so many
Yes.
gifts, and they're sharing them with the world. So I believe that, we are in a time where we will see the manifestation of many of these gifts and
Yes.
talents and the reward. We don't have to wait till we get to heaven to get all of
That's
our
right.
rewards.
That's
He promised us some good time right here on the
right
earth,
here.
right?
You're right about that.
So I again thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us and being a part of our show here in MsG's Ladies Lounge. We call this segment Manifestation Moments because we know that it's one thing to desire to do things and to have a vision, but it's another thing to actually see it come to manifestation. And so I love for our audience to see others doing great work as well.
Mhm.
And we're going to share your information in just a minute because I know some people are out there probably like with their pen in their hand and like, would you hurry up so I can get this information? we,
Look,
we're
I
going
get it.
to
I
get
get it.
We're
Get
gonna
that
get it in
number.
just a minute. But here at Manifestation Moments, it's always a pleasure to have someone to be able to share even some things with our audience. So, what are some of the things that you're manifesting next, and what's in the next chapter for Robyn Roots?
Everything is coming full circle. So my nursing is wrapped around my filmmaking, and like I said, I just signed my first distribution deal for the film 2020 Year the Nurse, and we have some educational screenings in 2026 where we'll show the film, and Trey Chaney and I will perform a song, and I have a book as well, and just continue to uplift the nursing profession in the
Mhm.
medical profession as a whole, because we got to change these policies.
Yeah.
And then just with the student loan nurse, just working with our community to get rid of this debt, because
Mhm.
it is just going to oppress us even more.
Mhm.
And just really encourage them to not be afraid of it. Just face it, know what's going on. Even if I can get your payment to $25, if
Mhm.
you're paying $25 for 120 payments, you can be forgiven. You just got to
Yeah.
make some kind of payment. You've got to get some skin in the game. And so I just think it's important for them, to know that it's just multiplying. If it was stock, it would be good. But this
Right.
is debt. So we
It's
need
going
to,
the opposite way.
yeah, yeah. So it's important for
Negative.
them to help them understand, they can do this, but don't,
Mhm.
don't keep pushing it off to the next year, and it's gonna come up. And when it does, you can be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And that's where I come in at. And I'm just, the more people I educate, the more people they tell. And it's just been so blessed for me because nursing is one thing, but to be able to see that person sad and kind of hopeless, and then to hear them praise dancing and just glad, like you just
Hmm.
don't know. I said, oh, I do know. If you
Got the
got,
glad glass.
it's hard to buy anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be calling you myself, sis.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. We all can use a little help. Again, um, tell us how we can contact you and stay in touch with you. Um, give
Well,
us
I'm on
your.
all social media platforms: a student loan nurse on Facebook, Instagram, Robyn Roots on LinkedIn. And if you can't find me, just Google me. I'm on there on so many interviews, and my information is out there because, like I say, being the kidney keeper, people call me from all over, and it's just they got a question that day, and they just feel like I'm like, let me tell you who to call. And if it's in Richmond, I know all the nephrologists, so I'm like, hey, is it
Mhm.
any way you can get them in, because it's just a lot, and their family
Yeah,
is out of state and they have no,
right.
so just trying to be an advocate for people. So please just look me up. I'm gonna give you my number to
Mhm.
my business, and you can text me and say you saw me today. I will give you a discount on the consultation, and we're gonna get to work and get some stuff done. But the number is 804-506-3943. 804-506-3943, and just text, let me know you saw the show tonight, and definitely I will send you my link to get on my calendar. And we just need to get to work, because there's going to be a lot more changes in 2026. And if you owe on student loan, the leadership is extending the length of time that you pay.
Did I did I put that right?
Yes.
804-506.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
you did it, thank you.
Good, good, good. I was trying to do it while you're talking.
Yeah, that's it.
Good, good, good.
Yeah, but thank y'all so much for this opportunity. I love my nurses. I love talking to people. And the student loan nurse is my name now. I'm actually going to be rebranding, doing some other things in 2026. And things are it's just blessed. I feel like I'm still nursing because I'm helping people, holistically. And
I
it's
was going to ask you that. So you don't do any actual bedside nursing anymore?
Well, I do take care of some people when needed. And then, like I say, I do a lot of teaching and with the Kidney Foundation if they need me to come in. And I'm still dialysis specialized. So I still talk with my nephrologist. If new things are coming out, they might send me something. What do you think about this? Because I help with the home hemo program development,
Mhm.
next stage machine. So,
Mhm.
I talk to those educators now, and they're like, they got this. Let me look at the lines. Let me see what you're saying. Because I've been in it
Wow.
so long. you know,
Yeah.
we went from the, I don't know people's age, but we went from the Pinto to the Cadillac. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's just keep making things better for the patients.
Absolutely, definitely. It's definitely a necessity. I've tried to move to the administrative side because I love bedside, but sometimes you just got to do something a little different. So,
And you can
but I
impact better on this side. You can make more of an impact. I
absolutely,
thought when I was on
absolutely.
the floor, I was, but I had to get in the office to really
Yes.
advocate and put my hands in it and change things.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think the teaching is quite important
Mhm.
because there's a different group, a different breed coming through now, and I think that also is going to be very detrimental with the professional degrees that
Yeah.
are trying to be taken away. So we appreciate you being there to help uh, to keep the professionalism among us.
Yes. We
That's
work
what we
hard for
need. Yes,
that.
yes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, Miss Robyn. Thank you for being here in Miss G's Ladies Lounge. And I'm
Yeah.
so excited. I promised myself I wasn't going to keep you this long, but I tell you what, it was a great chat, great conversation, and we
Thank
wanted
you.
to hear all of it. So um, we are just glad that you dropped by, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. And all of you, let me pop that number back up there real quick. If you didn't get it, screenshot it real quick. Go ahead and get that number so that you can get in touch with Miss Robyn. Thank you so much, and you have yourself a great, great night and a happy holiday to you. We're almost at the holidays.
I know. Well, thank you so much for having me, and you guys have a Merry Christmas, and thank everybody for tuning
Thank you.
in, and just keep doing the great work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Good night.
Good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being a part of Miss G's Ladies Lounge tonight. We have heard a plethora of information, um, and just as she said, not just for nurses, but for everyone. If you can just take advantage of what she's offering you tonight, the information, and follow through so that you can have that peace of mind as well. We thank you for being here. Listen, Miss Deborah has been in the comments all night. And so I'll go ahead and let you know Miss Deborah's going to be with us on next week. You see, she's got something to say there. So make sure that you join us. We'll be here. We'll be here on next Thursday at 8 p.m. And I'm excited. And that's going to be our last show for 2025. And we'll see what the Lord says about 2026. But that's going to be our last show for 2025. It's also going to be our last segment of the manifestation moments. So make sure that you're here. I might have a few little surprises for you, a few little giveaways for Christmas. So make sure that you're here in the studio with us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And also, don't forget now, Visionary Momentum Unleashed is still available to you. We want you to get your copy today. You can either scan this QR code, or the QR code has been up in that corner all night. So get your copy of Visionary Momentum Unleashed. This is my latest book that I have co-authored with, or as a visionary author for the anthology of hope, with 8 other authors. And so it is definitely something that you want to have in your arsenal so that you can be inspired, that you can be encouraged, and you can have what you need to help you navigate through some of these times that we're in. And so I appreciate every one of you. I look forward to seeing you on next Thursday. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful evening.